Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Beth, and I just finished reading The Dragon Reborn by Robert Jordan. This is the third book in the Wheel of Time series, and this book is about 650 pages long. Do not be alarmed by the size of the book, it's not that bad. So this book is obviously the third in the series, so there's going to be spoilers if you haven't read the other books, but who watches the review for the third book not knowing what to expect? So, basic premise, Rand is the Dragon Reborn, and there is very little of him in this novel. And I feel like the whole novel is a misnomer, just because, well, for one thing, at the end of the Great Hunt, he already proclaimed himself the Dragon Reborn. He proclaimed it as everybody said he would. He fought the Dark One in the sky. He made a big deal about it, and everybody saw it, and he was the dragon. And this book tries to tell you, no, that didn't happen. He's not the dragon. He has to do this now. He has to take a sword, and then he'll be the dragon. That's what the prophecy says. And I'm thinking to myself, how many things does he have to do before people actually believe him? He already hoisted the banner and brought back the dead. So there's very little of him in this novel. Basically, in the beginning, they're hiding out in a camp, and he runs away. He's like, I don't want to be a puppet. I'm going to go do what my dreams tell me to do, and I'm going to touch the sword. And that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like you're listening to children. Moraine, the Aes Sedai, she's just there in this novel. I'm kind of sad that she's been pushed to the background. It feels like she doesn't really have much of a character. Same thing with Lon. They just aren't real characters in this book. It feels almost as if I want more characters because Robert Jordan didn't give me enough with the characters that we have, and there's so many characters to choose from already in this novel. And when he added in the Falcon, which is a new character in this book, I felt like it had to happen just because all the other characters that we knew weren't giving me anything. So I said, oh, finally I get to know someone. But she has the same character development as most of the other women, because Elaine, Egwene, and Nynaeve, they all are just sassy women. That's their whole character. They're sassy women. You don't have any more than that. And Moraine is just steadfast, I guess. Same thing with Lon. I don't really understand the dynamic between them in this book. It's not really delved into, and I didn't appreciate that. Anyway, Rand ran away. Perrin is becoming a wolf. And he's scared of that. He's scared to become a wolf. So I really appreciate that all throughout this novel, Perrin is kind of touching into the dream realm, because wolves have apparently power in the dream realm, which I really think is quite interesting. And how he relates into the battle. I feel like he actually has a place in this novel now. So he's kind of on the search party with Moraine and Lon to go find Rand as a Dragon Reborn to protect him. So they're just chasing him throughout the whole novel. And then you have Egwene. Please, I'm not gonna mispronounce. I'm gonna mispronounce these names, so please forgive me. In my brain, every time I see Egwene, I think it's Eugene. So if I slip up, that's why. So Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine, they're in Altar Valon, which honestly, those are some of my favorite segments. I like knowing what they are working on to basically becoming full-grown Aes Sedai. And I do believe that just those segments, they feel like the world building is just exquisite to me. And maybe it's because the power system it's not completely structured, so to speak. You don't know exactly what makes it tick, so you're always finding out something new because it's always just the power, and it's filling you with power. And I'm thinking, oh, what can it do? What is the history behind it? It's very interesting, especially since there's so much history lost. You feel like there is a chance for the history to repeat itself and more powers to be found because so much has been taken away from them, and there's been a power decline throughout the centuries. So I think that's very interesting. And you have these women that are supposed to be the most powerful since the Age of Legends. So they escape from Tar Valon because there's Black Aja in the White Tower in Tar Valon. They're basically evil people that serve the Dark One, but they're magical. So that's supposed to be a myth, but it's happening. So they come back from the last novel. They're down there and they're being punished for a little bit, and then they leave again to go to the glow sword because that's the trap that's set for them. And there you go. That's the whole novel. They all go to the glow sword. Rand goes first. And then, another big part is there's the Matt branch of the novel, which, I mean, I wanted more. So he's finally separated from the dagger. And the thing about Matt is he's almost becoming a believable character to me. I don't know why. But he's finally getting hints of a purpose. I believe he has Ron Weasley syndrome, where Ron Weasley is just there. He doesn't really add anything to the team, and I feel like that's Matt. He tries to smile and flirt with women, and in this book, that is just failing him time and time again, so he doesn't even have that power anymore. But now he's lucky. His power is essentially luck, and that was never brought into it beforehand. I feel like he says, "Oh, I've always been lucky," and I'm thinking to myself, "No, you haven't. What? Why is this new? What is... I don't understand." So his whole character in this book is almost becoming a character. He's like, "I'm lucky. That's my character development." In my brain, I'm just... Anyway, he goes to the glowy sword because he's trying to protect the 3 Tarvalon babies, Naive, Egwene, and Elaine. He's just trying to protect them. So he eventually goes to the glow sword. So whole book is them going to the glow sword because apparently Rand needs to wield it to be the Dragon Reborn. When I feel like he already did that at the end of the last novel. He's already been proclaimed the Dragon Reborn. So I kind of feel like this book is pointless. I don't feel you're in really any better spot in this book than you were in the previous. I feel like I gave you the basic summary. And I think based on that, you know what's going to happen when they get to the glowy sword, because it's a fantasy novel. If you don't know, then... One thing I will say is Robert Jordan is actually very good with his action scenes. I can totally visualize what's happening. There's a lot of Matt wielding a staff, which I can see in my head and understand exactly how he's fighting. I appreciate it. Prose is okay. It's nothing to scoff over. It's not great, but the world building is what's pulling you in for these novels. And I do feel like this was a lull book. I think maybe it was because Great Hunt was so exciting. This one kind of tapered off a little bit, at least for me, because I felt like it was a little bit of a repeat. But then again, this was written in 91. The whole series started in January of 1990. So he's written 3 books in less than 2 years. And they're this length. It's uncanny for me. Because The Great Hunt, I enjoy... It's still better than the first book. I'm sorry, I did not like the first book in the series. So I do think the Dragon Reborn is still better. I think if you're in it to win it like me, and you've already started the series, and now you kind of just have to read all 14, read it. It's not bad. By any means, it's not bad. I just don't feel like it gave me anything new. Maybe I'll read the next book and tell you to skip this one. Because he's already the Dragon Reborn. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review. Thanks for watching.